Hi and welcome to this 40th live tech Q&A session where you can ask me some tech related question and hopefully I'll be able to answer it. And also if you are on Twitter, it's a good idea to follow me on Twitter at @Geekyranjit. And you can post your questions in the YouTube comments and I'll take them. I can see already I have a lot of questions. And the big news for today was that Moto E that's going to launch at midnight today. So let's take the questions, and the first question is from Amit Garg. Hi Ranjit, I love your videos, thank you. I am thinking of purchasing the Lumia 525, which is a Windows phone. My budget is around 12,000 rupees. Should I buy the Lumia 525 at this point of time, considering the Lumia 630 has just released? Yeah, it was released yesterday. But Lumia 630 has got just 512 MB of RAM. So what do you think about it? Should I buy the 525, or are there more Windows Phone coming with 1 GB of RAM? Yes, you have answered the question yourself, Amit. The thing, I am also not very impressed with the Lumia 630, though it's going to come out by default with the Windows 8.1. Due to 512 MB of RAM. Yes, Windows Phone works perfectly fine with 512 MB of RAM, but there are some apps, specifically, for example, the Nokia Beamer, Nokia Lens, etc., and some games also that require 1 GB of RAM. So I personally feel that if you're getting a Windows Phone right now, go with the device that has 1 GB of RAM. Yes, there will be some new devices also coming with the 1 gig of RAM, but again, I can't speculate when they are going to come out. So as of now, if you can't wait between the Lumia 525 and the Lumia 630, I would personally opt for the 525 because it has 1 gig of RAM. So let me take one more question. This is by Sapan Das. Good evening, sir. I have two questions. I have a graphic card and the monitor turns off frequently, but the system stays on. Is it really? It is really annoying. How to solve that? I'm not having overheating issues. The temperatures of the GPU is around 40 degrees Celsius. Yes, 40 degrees Celsius on the GPU is fine. I would suggest that check the connectors. If your monitor supports DVI and the standard VGA, change it to that VGA cable or something. Sometimes the cable also can cause issues. I've seen that. Also, the second thing you can do is that if you haven't updated your graphic drivers for quite a bit, do that, because generally I've seen the issues like this even when the graphic drivers can get old. So you can check out these two things and hopefully it will solve your issue. Second question, again, Sapandas asks us, is the HTC Desire 816 officially released in India, and are you going to review it? Officially, HTC has announced about HTC Desire 816. Officially, it is released, but it's not yet available in the market. Just yesterday, I went to the market, and it's going to hit the markets on 15th May. And yes, I'm going to review it as soon as it comes out. So this is a question by Kamesh Kotwani. Hearty and a warm good evening, sir. Thank you, Kamesh. I have two questions. Sir, many of my friends ask me which OS version they should install on their PC, 32-bit or the 64-bit. But I cannot advise them because I don't know the difference. So please tell me the difference between 32-bit and 64-bit Windows OS versions. Okay. The thing is that, Kamesh, with the 32-bit OS, the memory that Windows can access, the entire memory, that might be including your, if you have a dedicated GPU and RAM, is just 4 gigs. So if your friend is using a computer that has 4 GB or less of RAM, he can go with the 32-bit version. Also, do make sure that if he has a dedicated graphic card, it might have 1 GB of RAM. The total addressable memory is 4 gigs. So let's say if he's having 4 gigs of RAM and that he also has a dedicated graphic card that is 1 gig, then if he should go to 64-bit. And if he has RAM above 4 GB, definitely go for the 64-bit edition, because with the 32-bit edition of Windows, it cannot address memory over 4 gigs. So example, if you're building a new computer these days, many of the computers, many people build with 8 GB of RAM, 12 GB, 16 GB or something like that. So if it's over 4 gigs, go with the 64-bit edition. And the second question is, my second question, he continues, is what is the temperature at which the processor will shut down or may not work? Again, the processor on a desktop computer varies. The higher, thermal throttling they call it, differs from model to model. With general Intel processors, you can easily go up to 72 degrees, about 75 degrees centigrade, and nothing should happen. But the general rule is is what I follow, is that if the processor temperature is going above 70 degrees Celsius, then you need to look at coolings. But generally, most of these new processors, Intel and AMD, you won't generally damage your processor by if the temperature goes too high. What will happen is it will automatically throttle down and the performance of the PC will go down. But generally, if you're noticing that the temperature on your processor core is going above 70 degrees Celsius, it's a good idea to look at aftermarket cooler solutions like third-party coolers, etc. For example, I am using i7, and with the stock Intel cooler that I had, when I was rendering video, that's a heavy task. Many times the processor temperature was going to 72 degrees Celsius, and that was pretty high. Though it won't damage the processor, I knew that, but I didn't like that, and I invested in a fairly cheap, affordable, aftermarket cooler. It's an air cooler, and after installing that, now even under load, my processor temperature does not go above 62 degrees Celsius. So I hope that info helps you. Sorry. This is by I am Suman. Good evening, Ranjit. HTC One M8 or the Note 3, which is better for hardcore gaming? I am Suman. The thing is that the Note 3 that we are getting in India is the Samsung Exynos version, and HTC One M8 is obviously runs on the Snapdragon 801 chipset. So for hardcore gaming, I will definitely recommend the HTC One M8. I hope that helps. This is by Sohail Sardar. Hi Ranjit sir, good evening. Good evening to you. Today Motorola launches Moto E. Do you want to review it? Yes, I'm going to review the Motorola Moto E. It's launching today. In fact, it's going to launch today. Again, it's sold in India exclusively by Flipkart, the online retailer. And it's going to launch at 12 o'clock at night, midnight, and I'm going to order it. And if you just see the YouTube show notes of this show, I have placed the direct link for that. So yes, I'm going to order it at 12 o'clock at midnight, and yes, I'm going to review it. Second, after update to KitKat, does call recording apps still work on your Samsung Galaxy S4? I do not use any call recording softwares. Prior to KitKat, on the Nexus, on Nexus 5, about 4-5 months ago, I installed one call recording app. It worked, but I haven't tested any call recording apps with the latest version of KitKat, so I'm not very sure if it works or not. Third, Sohail is asking me, suggest me a good 3D TV under 1 lakh, 40 to 46 inches. Sorry, I don't have any ideas. I don't review televisions. Just about 3 months ago, I purchased a 46-inch television from Samsung. It was a non-smart, non-3D one, and it's working fine. So again, for televisions, I'm not the best guy because I don't review televisions. I hope it helps. This is by Abhimanyu Singh. Yeah. Good evening, sir. I like your videos very much. Thank you, Abhimanyu. Sir, I have to buy a phone before 25th May. Okay, budget is around 7,000 to 10,000. So, sir, I wanted to ask which one will be better, Moto E or the Lumia 630? What are your expectations from them? Abhimanyu, yes. Right now, if you would have asked me this question about 2 weeks back, under 10,000, I actually did not like any device a lot except the Lumia 525, which is a decent Windows phone, I would say. But now, fortunately, this Moto E is going to come. It's launching today, as I just told you. And again, I can't comment too much about Moto E right now. Looking at the specs, it looks very good. It sports a 4.3-inch screen with a QHD resolution, a Corning Gorilla Glass 3, and it also has it's kind of water-resistant, splash-proof because it has nano coating. The processor is a dual-core processor, and the biggest thing is it has 1 gig of RAM. That is actually quite important, and we are getting the micro SD card slot this time. So I'm actually very excited about the Moto E, but I just cannot comment right now about it too much. I'm going to order it today at midnight, and fortunately I'll get it in a day or two, and I'll thoroughly review it. So if you can wait for a week, ask me this question again, and I should be able to give you a much better answer. If Moto E is the best Android device under 10,000. We'll know it surely by next week. I hope it helps. This is by Pratik Apte. Sir, which Mac is worth buying as of today? And is the MacBook Air a good buy for primary usage? Uh, yeah, there are a lot of Macs available. MacBook Air is for people, I would say, who are on the move a lot and do not like a, what do you say, beefy laptop. But if this is going to be a primary machine, yes, the MacBook Air is great. I have a MacBook Air, but again, do remember it's not my primary machine. The primary primary computer is this from which I'm doing this webcast. It's a desktop computer. It's i7 one. Yes, I use the MacBook Air every day almost, but I don't do very heavy tasks on that. Yes, it can do even video editing, and I have produced some videos over it when I was traveling. But if it's going to be a sole computer and you're going to do very heavy tasks like video editing, etc., look at the MacBook Pro, which is a lot more powerful. But if you prefer desktops, then also the iMac is also there. I hope it helps. There is also this Mac Mini, but I won't suggest it right now because Apple hasn't updated the Mac Mini for almost now. It will be close to 2 years. Actually, I was also waiting for the Mac Mini update to come, but God knows when Apple will update it. So I hope it helps. This is by OMG Oprah. Very interesting name. Oh my God, Oprah. Ranjit, some say Flipkart sells grey market good. Is it true? With WS Retail on Flipkart, please share your views on Flipkart shopping and things to see in the invoice. What with their pricing, they sell at huge discount compared to market pricing. No, it's stupid info. They don't sell a gray market products or something. They sell genuine products, and I have bought a lot of products via Flipkart. And in fact, every month I almost purchase many of the devices and products directly from Flipkart because I do get a very good deal. And all the products will have worked fine, so don't worry, it's genuine. You get a genuine proper bill and invoice. Regarding, yes, sometimes the pricing on Flipkart is lower compared to retail stores. Do understand why it's lower, because with a retail store, these a person who's having a shop has overhead cost a lot, so they include that in the pricing. But on online stores like Flipkart, they can give a discount. That's why generally the pricing on Flipkart is a little bit lower compared to what do you say, physical stores. But don't worry, they are selling genuine goods, and I purchase a lot of stuff from Flipkart. I've purchased a couple of lakh worths of goods from Flipkart, no issues. So I hope that helps. Uh, Again, some of you are asking about televisions models. Sorry, I have no idea. I don't review televisions. This is by Tech Tutorials. I don't know much about computer hardware. Then you have an interesting name, Tech Tutorials. Okay. If I change my GPU and RAM to a better one, does my game performance and regular performance will going to increase or not? Okay. Uh, Yes, generally, if your CPU is good enough, by upgrading the GPU and the RAM, GPU will help you in gaming, and RAM, obviously, if you have a lot more RAM, you can do a lot more multitasking, and games also generally run a lot smoother. So yes, overall, if your CPU is good enough, you will get a decent boost by upgrading your GPU and RAM. Second question, and does it look worth looking at Moto E? Yes, definitely. I feel the Motorola Moto E will be a game changer, at least in India, for the budget-oriented Android devices, and I'm really excited about it. So let's look at some other questions. This is by Jackson Lanier. Sir, I love your videos. You're doing a great job. Thank you. I want to buy a smartwatch. Okay, which I should be going for, and which one do you suggest? The Gear 2 Neo. Oh, 1 second. Okay, or the Galaxy Gear. Galaxy Gear, I think so. You're talking about the original one or the new one? If it's the original one, Galaxy Gear 1, I won't recommend. Galaxy Gear 2 is the new one, or wait for the Gear Fit, or wait for the Gear 3 and Gear 3 coming, or the Gear 2. I have used the Gear 2 and the Gear Fit. Again, it depends. The Gear Fit, I actually had both. The Gear Fit and the Gear 2. I personally like the Gear Fit a lot more because it was just like a strap band, and it's so light that I hardly noticed that it was there on my hand. But definitely when it comes to functionality, the Gear 2 if you can obviously look at the what do you say, Gear Neo, Gear 2 Neo, which is almost exactly the same as the Gear 2 minus the camera. So if the camera is not important, you can also have a look at that. I think so. That would be a great option, and also it is priced competitively. The Gear Fit and the Gear 2 Neo are almost priced competitively. So I would suggest that go to a local store, look at them physically and decide what you like. Personally, I like the Gear Fit, though I know that the Gear Fit has a lot less functionality than the watches. But I like the feel of the Gear Fit, and it's almost it's so light that I hardly noticed when I was using it was there on my hand. I hope it helps. This is by Ayush Garg. Uh, Sir, I want to ask you, which phone should I buy out of these two? The first choice he gives us is Samsung Galaxy S5, and second is the HTC One M8. Ayush, both these phones are pretty good. The Samsung Galaxy S5 that we are getting in India is the Exynos version, and yes, it's one of the best Galaxy phones till now. But again, I don't like the design part of it. And yes, the new touch which that the Galaxy S5 has is vastly improved, but still, I notice a little bit of lagginess here and there. That was not the case with the HTC One M8. HTC One M8, yes, it might not have those fancy features, too many options that the Galaxy S5 has. But overall, that in terms of design and fit and finish, this was better. And I also felt that though that this HTC One M8, as it has the Snapdragon 810 processor, it is slightly faster than the Exynos version, and it's a lot more fluid to operate. One place where the Galaxy S5 goes really way ahead compared to this HTC One M8 is in the camera department. So if you primarily take most of your photos with your cell phone, then Galaxy S5 might be a better option. Else the HTC One M8 might be a better. Also, one place where the HTC One M8 goes ahead compared to the Galaxy S5 Exynos version is 4G LTE. This one has 4G LTE support, whereas the Galaxy S5 does not have any 4G LTE support. So it's up to you to decide which one is important to you, what features are important to you. So decide. End of the day, you won't be disappointed with either of these devices. So it comes down to the styling and the feature sets that you want. I hope it helps you. This is by Pratik Gadke. First, don't you think the internal storage on the Moto E should have been at least 8 GB? Do you think it's a Micromax killer? Do you need your views on Moto E? Pradeep, again, you need to understand this Moto E, Motorola is trying to keep it at a very low cost, just 7,000 rupees. And if you look at some other company, no way Motorola is a third tier company like Micromax, Lava, etc. It's a tier one brand, and so hence there's no point comparing Motorola with Micromax, Lava, and stuff like that. The quality of the devices is way ahead, so no point comparing it with Micromax, etc. Motorola is a tier one brand, so you have to look for devices from Samsung, HTC, Sony, etc. And if you see devices under 10,000 from Sony, for example, the latest budget-oriented phone is the Xperia E1. That also has just 4 GB of internal storage, and the RAM is also very less on those. It has just 512 MB of RAM, whereas the Moto E has 1 gig of RAM. So yes, this Moto E has just 4 GB of internal storage, but we do have a micro SD card support. So again, it's yeah, there will be a limitation because of that low internal memory. If you are a power user, it will be interesting to see how if the apps are movable to the micro SD card or not. Again, I can't comment on it right now. I will be definitely getting this Moto E, so I'll test it and let you know. But if you're a kind of a power user, definitely the Moto G might be a better option, because in terms of the processor, the Moto E is using a Snapdragon 200 based chipset. That's a dual core processor, whereas Moto G is using the Snapdragon 400, which is almost 2x the performance. So yes, Moto E is for people who are on a very tight budget and still want a good smartphone. But if you're a kind of power user and you need more power, then definitely Moto G will be more powerful. I hope it helps. Uh, Nitish, this is my sorry, Nitin Raghavinder. Hi sir, this is Nitin. My question is the best way to use the phone so as to get good battery life. Are there any apps to increase the battery life? Yes, there are a lot of third-party apps that can increase your battery life. What they do is whenever you switch off the phone in standby mode, they just shut off your what do you say data services, and that improves the battery life a lot. So you can just check the Google Play Store for that. I used to use apps like that, and yes, they can boost it. But again, if you heavily rely on push email and stuff like that, as it's stopping your data activity when it's in standby mode, you won't get any push emails. But yeah, definitely they can improve the battery life. This is by Sandeep Sai. Hi, sir. Good evening. My questions are: as Android is getting optimized day by day, like KitKat, so that it can even run on MediaCore hardware. So why manufacturers like Qualcomm and Media are still inventing high-end processors? Uh, Dude, there will always be a segment of crowd that will want the most best hardware, the fastest hardware. For example, uh, I felt that the Snapdragon 800 processor on this Nexus 5 was fast, and it's still a very fast processor. But after using the Snapdragon 801, I feel this is a leg up, because with the Snapdragon 800 processor, the battery life was not good. But with the Snapdragon 801, it is a very fast phone. Also, but also what Qualcomm has improved is in battery life. It gets amazing battery life. So we will continue to see improvements in speed. It's like computers, and there will always be a segment of crowd that will want the fastest. So I don't think so. The innovations in smartphone and the processing speed is going to stop, and there will be people like me and others who will pay top money for the fastest phones. It's just the market that like. And but the good thing is that if you have a high-end smartphone, what we are using today, in 1.5 years or 2 years, you will see those kind of specs and performance in even in the mid-tier phones. So everybody benefits in the long run. And I don't think so the innovation will stop. There's still a lot of room for improvement, and so things will improve on. Next, let me take this question. Among flagships like the Galaxy S5, HTC One M8, Xperia Z2, we have seen that the M8 is not a perfect smartphone because of the low, poor camera. So what's best among Galaxy S5 and Z2? For example, I have used the Galaxy S5. I haven't used the Xperia Z2, so I can't comment on it. Galaxy S5, I personally didn't like it because of that very plasticky nature. The design is not that good. And also Samsung, though it has added a lot of features like fingerprint scanner, etc., those features do not work as advertised. So I was not very impressed with the Galaxy S5. One place where the Galaxy S5 really impressed is in the camera performance. The 16 megapixel ISO cell that Samsung is using is fabulous. I haven't used the Xperia Z2, so I can't comment, but I've heard that the Xperia Z2 is also having some heating issues. So again, there is no perfect phone. If you're thinking that there is one perfect phone that will do everything, I'm sorry to say there is no perfect phone. Almost every phone has a flaw. For example, the iPhone 5s, I liked it too much. The 5s was really nice, but the phone was just too small. And again, it's Apple iOS, and the limitations of iOS are there. So again, as of now, if you ask me, one perfect smartphone, high-end price is not an issue. I don't have one perfect smartphone. So based upon your needs, you got to decide which is better for you. The Galaxy S5 is better for you, HTC One M8 is better for you, or the Xperia Z2, or if you are with iOS, the iPhone. I hope it helps. Prateek, sir, do you have any idea when will Moto G 4G version with memory card slot launch in India? Sorry, I have no idea about it. This is by Bobby. This one, sir, which one is better, Galaxy Grand 2, S3 Neo, or the Moto X? Go with the Moto X. Moto X is far superior than the other devices. But again, the Moto X screen is slightly smaller. If you're okay with that size screen, go with the Moto X. Fabulous phone. Uh, Let me take some more questions. A lot of questions of Moto E. I'm not going to take it again because I already have talked about it. If you join later, you can replay this session back when it's done. This is by Narayan Pai. Hi sir, like your videos. Thank you. You have recently reviewed the D-Link wireless TV Miracast device. My question is, will it work for any smartphone that has Bluetooth 4? And will it work with Moto X? No, it does not use Bluetooth. So Miracast does not work over Bluetooth. It is using Wi-Fi. So you need to make sure that your device does support Miracast standard. And if you go to your phone manufacturer's specs, they will clearly specify if it supports screen mirroring or Miracast. So you need that. It does not work over Bluetooth. Will it work over Moto X? I'm not very sure. I don't have a Moto X right now, but if I recall, if any of you guys have a Moto X, just go into the settings and in display, does it have something like screen mirroring or Miracast? I think so it has, but I'm not 100% sure. But yes, your device needs to have that Miracast or the screen mirroring support for it to work. This is by Gokul Mohan. Sir, will 1080p resolution make a big difference in screens above 5 inches? Worried about just 720p resolution and 267 ppi on HTC Desire. Will the screen look blurry? Yes, it can be an issue with the, for example, the Note 2 also that had what 5.5 inch screen. Its screen resolution was just 720p HD. If you're not very used to 1080p screen and very high resolution screens, you won't get notice it. But who's a person who's already coming from a very high resolution screen that is 1080p, and for a screen size of 5.5 inches with 720p, you might notice this. I did notice it on the, what do you say, Note 3 Neo, which also had a 720p HD screen. But again, HTC Desire 816 is not a high-end device, so so we can't expect having it at 1080p display. It's just a mid-range device. It won't be blurry, but if you look very, very close, you might see the jagged edges. But normal viewing, you won't notice it. So let me look at some other question. This is by Alex. Hey Ranjit, keep up the good work. My question is, do you think Moto E is a good opportunity for newcomers on Android OS? Also, when will Moto E come out of Europe? Regarding launch in Europe, I'm not very sure. You can just, if you are on Twitter, just tweet to @Motorola. They're pretty active on Twitter. They'll let you know when it's coming in on Europe. Regarding your first question, is Moto E a good opportunity for newcomers on Android OS? Yes, definitely, yeah. It actually, the specs look very good, and if I've used both the Moto X and the Moto G, and if the performance is similar like that, it will be a fabulous deal. Again, just stay tuned to my channel. I will be ordering the Moto E, and I'm going to thoroughly test it. So expect a review in a few weeks. Again, Moto E, getting a lot of questions on Moto E again. Let me take this question by Nirvan Agarwal. Hi, I love your videos. Thank you. My question is, can you suggest an app to transfer app data into SD card in Xperia M? Also, I'm confused between Xperia Z2 or Micromax Night. So can you do unboxing video of Xperia Z2 and Micromax Canvas Night? I won't be doing any unboxing video or review of the Micromax Canvas Night. Maybe Nirvan, you're new to my channel. I just don't do reviews of these brands like Micromax, Lavaya, Carbon, etc. I had very bad experience with these devices, and I don't want to subject my end users to those devices. So forget about those. Yes, I will be doing the Xperia Z2 review soon, but I don't know when I'm going to do it. I'm not going to jump right away because the pricing is too high, and I'm sure that the price of the Xperia Z2 will also fall. So hopefully in the next couple of weeks, when the price of the Xperia Z2 falls a little bit, I'll review it, but not the Micromax whatever Canvas Night. This is by Jaidev Nair. A very interesting question. Should I buy the HTC Desire 816 or the Moto X? I want great performance. If you're looking for, if you're very performance oriented, definitely the Moto X is a way more powerful device than the HTC Desire 816. Do understand that the processor and the chipset that is used in the HTC Desire 816 is the same one used in Moto G. That sells for 14,000. The processor and the chipset that is used on Moto X, though it's a dual core processor, is way superior. So Moto X will definitely have a lot more in the performance. But again, end of the day, the size of the screen is hugely different. The Desire 8.816 is that 5.5-inch screen, and the Moto X has 4.8-inch screen. So decide what you want. If personally, if the choice was given between to me between the HTC Desire 816 and the Moto X, I would have gone for the Moto X. This is by Firman Gabir. Hi Ranjit, this is Firman. You rock. Keep up the geekiness. A quick question: QHD or AMOLED? Firman, I think so. You're asking the wrong question. QHD is a resolution, and AMOLED is a screen technology. Some people like AMOLED screen. For example, if you have used any of the high-end Samsung devices, many of them use AMOLED. The thing with AMOLED screen is that saturation and everything looks a lot more pop. So many people like that. But if you are a person who likes accuracy and true colors, then IPS grade screens, and for example, the screen quality on this HTC One M8 is also very good. You'll like that. AMOLEDs are generally not the most true color representation they give, though the AMOLED screen on the Galaxy S5 was fabulous. I hope it helps. Let me look at some other questions now. This is by Nitesh Chand. Hi sir, good evening. I like your videos very much. I am thinking of purchasing the Nexus 5, and I'm coming through a lot of complaints regarding its poor call and audio quality. What do you say? The call quality on Nexus 5 is not bad. It's actually pretty good, but I won't say it's the best call quality that I have seen. I would rate it anywhere around 8.5 to 10. So the call quality is not bad. The only con with the Nexus 5 is the battery life. The battery life is not that great. This is by Amy G. Hi Ranjit. I'm confused between the iPhone 5s and 5C. My preference is playing ultra high-end games and clicking great pictures. Which one should I go for? In terms of performance, both of these phones do perform very similarly, so you should be able to play any of the iOS games without any issues. But in terms of pictures, the 5S has a slightly improved optics, so the 5S might take a little bit of better shots compared to the 5C. So end of the day, it comes down to your budget and preference. If you have the budget for the iPhone 5S, go for it. Else the iPhone 5C also is a great thing. This is by Joeb Das, and it's already over 30 minutes, so might be the last question. Joeb Das asks us, Samsung makes super fast and brilliant smartphone processors for their rival Apple, but why can't they make their Exynos faster than the Apple A7? Apple A7 is the fastest. Joeb, though, yeah, Samsung might be making these processors in their factories, but the intellectual property and rights are for Apple. Apple is designing it. Samsung is just a manufacturer. They are just manufacturing it. So they don't have the rights for it. Apple engineers have worked on the design and architecture. So no way they can just copy it. Apple will sue them out of their pants if they do that. So yes, the Exynos is not as fast as the Apple A7, and we are hearing rumors that the iPhone 6 that's going to be launched around the September timeframe might have the Apple A8 architecture. So I hope that helps. And second question he asks is, Samsung are selling the Exynos-based flagship instead of the Snapdragon in India. What is the reason for that? First thing, margins. Obviously, Samsung manufactures their own Exynos processor, so it's cheaper for them. And the excuse by Samsung for this is that they are using the Snapdragon variants of the S5 or whatever in areas where they have LTE presence. So that is the official stand of Samsung India. I know that it was stupid because Samsung very well knew that a 4G LTE is coming this year in India, but still they introduced the Snapdragon, variant of S5. So it's kind of disappointing that it won't have any 4G LTE. This is by Pratham Patel. Which phone is good at performance, Galaxy S5 or the HTC One M8? Both these phones are pretty fast, the Galaxy S5 and the HTC One M8. But overall, if you keep both the phones side by side, and I'm talking about the Galaxy S5 Exynos version that is sold in India, and the HTC One M8, side by side, if you place them, the HTC One M8 will be definitely, you'll feel it's a lot more snappier device. So that's it for this session, guys. It's been over 35 minutes, and I've taken a lot of questions. Still, I'm getting continuous sea of questions, so simply I can't take all of them. Again, if you're on Twitter, it's a good idea to follow me on Twitter at @Geekyranjit. And again, the Moto E is going to launch tonight. I have the link in the YouTube show notes, direct link for that. I'm going to get it, I'm going to purchase it, and I'm going to do a review. Are any of you guys going to buy the Moto E? Do let me know in the comment section. And again, we'll be doing this live tech Q&A session next Tuesday, that is on 20th May, 7 p.m. India time. Thank you for joining this live Q&A session, and I hope that you'll be able to join me also next week. Thank you. This is Ranjit, and I hope to see you in my next video.